What's up, everyone? This is DAdvisoor again, coming to you from the beautiful Puerto Varas at the stable retreat hosted by Frankencoin, NEU Holdings, and Stable Summit, of course. And I have a special guest that I actually get the chance to officially talk to on an interview for the first time, Zach, co-founder of Stable Summit, of Party Action People. How should I call it?
Yeah, I'm the founder of Stable Summit and also Party Action People.
Can you maybe elaborate a bit about what Party Action People is, what Stable Summit, what came first? Like, what is it about for these weirdos who don't know what it is, let's say?
Yeah.
I can hold it for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Party Action People, we're an event company that we started right before COVID, and so we never even got to do an event. So before we got a chance to do an event, COVID happened. All events were stopped, and then my co-founders and I got super into crypto in that time. And then while we were watching crypto from the sidelines, as just Binance DJs, as you do. We realized that like the conferences that were happening weren't like a lot of them were very marketing focused, and like was mad that in the 2021 time a lot were even Bitcoin focused, and we just felt like we had a clear idea on that the space was too new and too young for marketing yet, and we wanted to create a space for the most technical people to meet each other, share their problems and challenges, and accelerate the space that way.
First of all, I want to just make a few things clear for me, first of all, and maybe for those in the audience who don't know. The co-founder we're talking about Parvina, yes?
Yes. Parvina is the co-founder, and then also Nick.
Oh, Nick is also
Yeah,
co-founder.
okay. So the three of us, so like how it started in the original business plan is like Nick, he had the 10 plus years experience running events physically.
Wow.
Par was the one.
I didn't realize Nick was a co-founder. I should go and apologize to him. I didn't think.
Yeah, definitely. And then Par, she was working in technical conferences, and then I was the DJ. So my job was to be crypto guy.
Wow, that's so cool. And you all know each other from like normal life?
From way back, yeah. I've known Nick since I was 10 years old, and I've known Par since I was 17. Yeah.
That is so cool, actually. So, what year did you guys decide that you do it just before 2020?
We became officially a crypto conference company in 2021.
Look. And what was the first conference that you guys? I'm pretty sure I know which one it was. It was let me guess actually. Let's see if it really was the one. It was ETHCC in 2021 or 2022?
No, it was. We did a.
It was like the first Stable Summit the beginning, or was
no? So there was one before. So the first one was the Blockchain Oracle Summit 2022.
Ah, okay.
And because basically what we did was the goal was always to do stablecoins. And we were looking at the space to see, like, at the time in that 2020 era, I'm sure you remember this, like, everybody wanted to bring everything on chain. We wanted stablecoins backed by logistics, backed by transport, backed by all kinds of crazy things, Internet of Things, right? IoT, that's what everyone was saying. And so we were looking at that, like, okay, if we're really going to create a stablecoin backed by all these things, what is bringing these things? What is the biggest challenge to bringing these things on chain? And basically, there was no oracle that could verify any of it, like any of the logistics, the wine, the art, all these things people.
Yes, I remember. Like, you have something, you have any kind of equipment, bring it home. Let's get a stablecoin.
And basically there was no oracle, so we started with the Oracle Summit, which was a terrible business decision, like terrible. Like
why?
Because at the time I think Chainlink had like almost 98% market share in 2021.
Is it any different today, by the way?
I think now it's much better. I think Redstone and Chronicle are giving a fight. Chainlink is still the biggest majority, but the point is, like, at that time the like Redstone, Chronicle didn't even exist yet. Chronicle was still a part of Maker. Redstone was a new-ish competitor. They were really small. Like Redstone was maybe 3 or 4 people when we first met them, and so there was no money in oracles. In the competition of oracles, it wasn't hot like stables now. So that's what I mean by a bad business decision. But it was a really good like DeFi decision, because the people who were interested in oracles way back then, we're talking about like Michael Bentley from Euler, Nick from Chronicle, Rick from Liquidity, so many of our Oracle Summit 2022 speakers and sponsors ended up becoming like some of the biggest DeFi protocols we have today. And so even though it was a bad, like we lost a bunch of money at that first event, we got connected to some of the best founders in DeFi. And also, I think we kind of proved ourselves as we had good intentions, because nobody with bad intentions was fucking talking about oracles. Oracles are way too weird and way too niche.
Yeah, also like you're not a good scammer if you're talking to them about oracles.
Exactly. So we proved ourselves that way. We were so new, we didn't even realize that. But like, even until now, we're benefiting from that first Oracle Summit connections, people we know, and yeah.
That's so cool, and it's such a great perspective, and I actually can resonate with it on my other hat with Leviathan News as a contributor there, because it really is a similar situation for us, where honestly we didn't know how to do basically anything, but we just had like a good intention of like, yeah, let's try to harness the community power to like deliver news as fast as possible. And the outcome of it was, of course, that, yeah, it's been a few years and we haven't made any income, but yeah, we have a lot of connections, and we really feel respected and appreciated by folks that, honestly, if you had told me that a few years ago that these are the kind of people that would appreciate what we do, I'd be like, wow, sign me in, even harder. So I can definitely resonate with that. Okay, so the first Stable Summit happens in summer of 2022 in Paris. That's 23.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did it go? What was the response then? How big was it? And how does it compare to like the Stable Summits today?
Yeah. Well, it went off to a really good start. We are very lucky to benefit from a partnership with State Capital, who brought on Curve right from the get-go. And Curve have been a very like...
Who brought Curve? How did Curve get so quickly involved?
So when we did the Oracle Summit, Julian Butuluk from State Capital, he applied to speak, and then he broke his foot. But because he applied to speak, and we just wouldn't let him go. Right? So even though he couldn't come to the Oracle Summit, we were like, yo, the plan was always to do stablecoins next. So please, let's go. Yeah. And then we were like, please, let's do stablecoins next. And his team connected us to Curve right away. Cheetah, a bunch of people, and that's how Stable Summit was kind of born. Yeah.
What a crazy story. Who were some of the speakers at Stable? Because, by the way, I don't even know if you remember it, but you guys approached me before that Stable Summit about hosting a panel, and I couldn't get to like France at that time, and I was like, I don't know, And to be honest, I also didn't feel like I asked myself, like, can I even do it? Like, will I know what to ask people if I stand in front of these people? Like, I'm used to hiding behind my keyboard and just posting stuff and go to sleep. But I like watching it evolve with time and seeing CurveCap often there, and DeFi Dave and all kinds of folks that I'm familiar with. It was really, it definitely resonated. Like, it's always been one of the venues. I don't know exactly how to call it. Like, some of the most interesting events that I always wanted to be at was with you guys, and I agree. Like, ever since Curve kind of took sponsorship of it in a more official way, where you started really seeing like buy Curve and all that, it also gave it like, especially in our circles, like a kind of a luxurious aspect, like a signature of trust or stuff like that.
I mean, like at the first Stable Summit, like we were lucky enough to get Mitch from Curve IRL, and so we invited Garrett to come in, Garrett CurveCap to come and interview Mitch. And when the rest of the people, even Garrett, when they met Mitch, they were all so excited. But when Arvina and I met Garrett, we were like, oh my God, it's CurveCap. Like, it's CurveCap, And then when we met DeFi Dave also, we were like, oh my God, DeFi Dave. Like we were really far out. We were community members, Telegram group people. DeFi Dave and CurveCap, these were like huge names for us,
Man, when CurveCap approached me about joining Leviathan News, I was like, CurveCap wants me to walk with him. I'm doing it. I don't care.
Whatever CurveCap wants, like CurveCap gets. No, but exactly. And And actually, like, when we started the Stable Summit, it was always meant to be a curve product, like a curve event, because there was one thing that we take very seriously is like credible neutrality. And if we let someone like, the obvious ones like Tether or Circle, if we were a Tether stablecoin conference, we just would not have any neutrality. If we were Circle, we wouldn't be able to invite Tether. If we were Tether, we wouldn't be able to invite Circle. And this is stupid.
So true.
And we wanted to be a place for the tech, it's for technologists, the ones who are driving the space forward in the technological sense. And so it had to be Curve. There was no one else who was a purpose-built stablecoin DEX, like truly neutral. As long as stablecoins win, Curve wins. Curve doesn't care which stablecoin. And so it had to be Curve. And so like even in the second year, after Mitch got liquidated, we were like, guys, like, what do we have to do? Like, it has to be Curve. And so we're kind of like married to them for that. Yeah, hopefully.
I think that's probably the best strategic move any entity in the space can make. But again, I'm biased, and my positions are basically all curve focused, so take that into consideration as well. But actually, it touches on another point. Like I've interviewed here for like a stable retreat. First, I sat with Michael, CEO of Liquidity Labs, and now I sat with Varun from Wi-Fi. And I think the point you're touching and resonates with exactly what both of them have mentioned, and I'm already noticing that it's a very common theme with the people Johannes has assembled. Shout out Johannes for organizing all of this. Much respect, sir, and Frankencoin Association. And you guys, by the way, as well, and NEU Holdings. I really think I'm definitely enjoying it, and I think that we have an opportunity to take it to make something great out of it. I think there's a whole lot of potential in this kind of conferences, which are more like builders focused rather than necessarily community focused. A lot can be done in a shorter, like with a smaller circle. It's the ideology side of things. I apologize. Like it's one thing to build like if you have a lot of resources and you're just looking to maximize gains, or to serve like a specific large entity with a lot of capital that wants to do XYZ. But it's a whole other thing to actually be able to build because you really believe in something, because you really care about something. And I think that for me and many others, even as an enthusiast, that's kind of what has drawn me into the industry in the first place. Like I was like, okay, the number go up was what made me look, definitely. Like I'm not saying that that wasn't the case, but what really got me attracted after a few months of whether earning a bit of money and losing a bit of money, a little more probably, was the fact that I kept seeing them and asking myself, oh my God, like these are the smartest people I've ever encountered. Like, and many of them are like, I don't know, 20 something years old, some of them not even that, by the way, and some of them are also like 30 to 50 or whatever, but they are brilliant people and they're all so motivated. And like if they actually were doing stuff for the money, they can do $1 million in a day. They can do it also, like they can, and if it wasn't about ethics and like ideology and stuff like that, can do $1 million in a day. It's not even a question. Like it's easy for them, but they don't care about it. Like they actually really care about doing innovative stuff and like harnessing their own like ideas of freedom and sovereignty and ownership, and really making the world a better place, as corny as it may sound. And it's really nice to see different people from different, not only from different places, but also with different skills and different like abilities, bring all join together to bring in all the pieces necessary in order to really manifest this kind of a change.
It's so awesome that you see that. Like, if I can show you right after this, like our original 2021 business plan. It says right there. Like, we are not trying to make money off crypto success. we're trying to lend our skills to accelerate crypto's future.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was never about making money. I mean, like we did an Oracle Summit, we weren't trying to make money. And and when we did the first stable summit as well, people they were like, why would you do a whole conference on stablecoins? We use Tether, it works. What's your point? And then other people were saying, but Tether's reserves don't exist. And then other people were saying, but algorithmic stablecoins are 100% a scam. And so we were like, clearly you can see there's a need for a stablecoin conference because all three of you disagree with each other and you all think we don't need a conference, And, the space was just that young then. And we just went all in. And I mean, the space was so young that when we were reaching out to Oracle teams to do the first Oracle Summit, we had LinkedIn profiles with no previous company. With an unknown company, unknown party action people, unknown company saying, hey, would you like to talk to me about oracles? And people like Nick from Maker and Rick from Liquidity, like serious guys, were answering because it was just the space was so small and we were so early that like no one was asking questions about oracles. They've even told us that they thought we were scamming them, but they were like, would the scammer know what an oracle is? Like, so they took the first call with like the camera off and everything to be careful. And then they realized, no, we were actually just three random guys in Singapore who wanted to do a conference for oracles. Yeah.
It's so cool. And I can also again relate because even very early on with Levat and News, when we started interviewing people and approaching, I was like, oh my God, this guy is willing to come on the show. Like, are you kidding me? Of course. And then when I started realizing that the big podcasts, they actually charge money from guests. I was like, what do you mean money? You want to come? You think I'm going to tell you no? If you tell me that you want to come and talk to me, I'm reading every post you write on X, exactly. I'm there, you know what I mean? You want to talk to me?
Exactly. And that was also it. I think in any other industry, if three random people decided, I want to do a conference about farming, I want to do a conference about banking, they're already they're companies with deep heritage and experience in those fields. And so why would they work with a newcomer? But when it came to DeFi, stablecoins, oracles, we were literally when we started doing
the monopoly.
Yeah, we were the only people. Until 2025, we were the only ones doing oracles or stablecoins. And now this year, quite a few people are doing stablecoin conferences, but also kind of a very different angle. And we were really, we've always been purpose built as DeFi agency. It's all for DeFi. Every conference somehow leads back to DeFi.
It's amazing. And I really think that you guys have established your position in the niche in a brilliant way. And I actually think that really the Stable Summit today is a name for itself. I don't think that Stable Retreat now, for example, is the same without the Stable Summit signature. It's it really is a signature of status, of class, of Stable Summit approved. Are you kidding me? This is a real conference, guys. We have Stable Summit themselves. And even when Johannes told me about it, and the minute he told me that you guys are involved, I was like, okay, this is bigger than I thought. This is not just Johannes making phone calls. He actually convinced the Stable Summit guys to do it. So he must be doing something right. And actually, I think much respect to you guys for what you do. You've told me earlier when we had lunch that you guys are basically doing 4 summits a year. That's your point?
Yeah. So, every country wants a stable summit now, suddenly. But we find that basically, if we try to do them every month, for example, just not enough content. And the same reason that, people say that we are now a stamp of approval or a mark of quality, it's because we really care about the quality of content. Of course, we could make more sponsorship dollars or ticket dollars if we just pumped out conferences all the time, but it's just not going to be super interesting. And then you can fumble the bag really easily once you start giving people bad content, and so quarterly kind of works, and we found a cadence that works for us. So next year we're starting in ETC, and then in the end of March, and then in June
which will be in Cannes, right?
Yeah. And then in June, first week of June in New York, and then Token 2049 in Singapore in October. And then in Q4, we're not 100% sure, but probably wherever DevCon is.
Nice, that's very interesting. And even before that, we have Devconnect next week in Buenos Aires,
Yeah.
where you guys are actually hosting I don't know if it's the first time, but it's a special kind of event. It's not exactly just Stable Summit. It's like a combination of different summits, like, for example, Stable Summit, Oracle Summit, and some others, all under one name called DeFiConnect.
Yes. And so how this happened was basically how we do our research, and this is what Parvina does as the co-founder, is she talks to CTOs in the space, CEOs, and she asks them like, what are your challenges and what do you see coming in the next 6 months and who do you want to hear from? And we basically try to stack the agenda with the people these guys want to hear from. And so it's really a conference designed by the speakers themselves. And through our research, we found that like everybody wanted to talk about vaults. Everybody wanted to talk about privacy and compliance. Oracles are finally back in the picture because people realize, like the balancer issue just last week. Oracle hacks are a big deal. Staking, because institutions are interested in staking now. And all of these are kind of under the stablecoin umbrella. So we were researching with people for stablecoins, and they kept mentioning these 4 topics. So we were just like, let's just do Stable Summit with 4 conferences about go deep into each of these 4 topics.
I really like your decision making, both process and execution. I really think that you guys are you're real enough to take all these, to read the room and take like the right decisions. And I think I'm extremely excited that this is going to be the first one. I'm hopefully going to attend. I can't wait to already be there. I think Vault Summit is one of the most interesting things on my side. I think that I just had this talk about a few minutes ago when I was recording an interview with Varun. Yield is basically what people talk about, like yield, up to a point like that. Okay, what else other than yield is out there? But like to actually get into the whole topic of Vault, which really took over the past 12 or 18 months, really got a whole new momentum and contenders within it, and really the whole landscape of vaults really kind of changed the past a year and a half or 2 within the space. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and I actually think that you guys also have a lot of potential with these more niche events, such as Stable Retreat, for example, because I actually think that these are the smaller extensions that you guys can make in order to collect more and more quality builders and interesting people and ideas to the big 4 events that you guys do. Really.
Yeah, no, and I think that's exactly it. I think, our role in the ecosystem has evolved quite a bit since the first one. I think, now that the banks are involved and Trump is involved in driving crypto, I don't think a group of 3 Singaporeans are needed to drive crypto so much. But what we have found is that people find a lot of value in the connective tissue that we provide. And that's our role. And so, that's why we make all our decisions based on the wisdom of the crowd through the interviews with people. And that's how we stay away from making terrible decisions. Like, for example, when Athena applied to speak in 2023 for our Singapore event, the unanimous take on crypto Twitter at the time was Athena is Terra Luna 2.0 scam. And we asked Rick from Liquidity, who is the most purest DeFi, the opposite of a scammer. This guy is an angel. We asked him, is Athena a scam? And he looked at it and he said, I don't know if it's going to work, but it's not Terra Luna. It's very interesting. And because we had that from someone as smart and honest as Rick, we were able to just give them that slot. And then it was at that Token 2049 in Singapore when Seraphim went crazy and raised the first 500 million TVL or whatever. And of course now Athena is one of the main stablecoins in the space. But this wisdom of the crowd thing really helps us. We're almost free from having to make these decisions. And our role is just to match people who want to meet these people to each other. And so smaller events like this at Stable Retreat really enable us to meet, now that Stable Summit has gotten quite large, the free slots are going to really European Central Bank, Society General, but that doesn't mean that our values haven't changed, And we don't want to be these people who only serve like the big boys. That's not the goal. It never has been. And so events like this allow us to meet cool people like Varun, and get Varun on stage. And so in Buenos Aires, what we're doing is we're working with Turtle XYZ, and quite a few really good funds where we're doing a zero TVL program. So we invited stablecoins or DeFi protocols with $0 TVL, and they get to pitch and they get liquidity from teams like Turtle and Bitscale and Fembushi. And yeah.
Amazing. I really think that this kind of the connecting power of all kinds of entities is underrated, kind of underrated.
Yeah, I mean, in an industry this small, the longer you work in crypto, you can really feel like it's such a big industry and these banks are coming in. But really, most business deals are still made between two people, and it really comes down to who knows who and who convinces who, which is it's deeply inefficient how deals are made, and it's very relationship based. And so we talk about decentralization all the time, but the space is simply too young. Like pure decentralization isn't happening. Everything is taking place in Telegram chats. And those Telegram chats are created at events, and so and it's also IRL events are also just a great way to filter out North Koreans and bad actors. It's normally much harder for scammers to scam consistently for days across the whole Devconnect, for example. You know what I mean? And so IRL events aren't going away and have very important roles.
Also, I think that, no matter how much we like to be online and it's much more comfortable most of the year, I think the amount of, I feel it like for myself, the amount of mingling and getting to know people and trust that you can develop when you actually meet these people that you constantly talk to and you just see as PFPs all the time, especially in our industry, which we don't even use our faces most of the time. Yeah, I think it's a whole other story, and we can... We need it as well. We're not, we're also human, we also need that aspect, and I think it does affect a lot. For example, I don't think that if I hadn't, my initial connection with Johannes was when I did an interview with him back in January for Leviathan News, because I saw that they've added CRV, by the way, as collateral, and I was like, oh, this is the Swiss franc stablecoin, and they've added CRV as collateral, I have to talk to him. And I was fascinated by the talk. It was my longest interview ever, 2.5 hours live stream, even more than that. And then in around March, he came to Israel, to Yafo, for a conference that was there, Building Blocks 2025. And then we hung out in the conference, at the conference a bit, I don't know, a few hours. He had a sort of small talk there. We talked a bit. And then at the evening, after the event, we went to a bar, and we were together, mostly him, myself, and another Finnish lady called Sovi. I don't know if you've met her. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, I think that in these few hours, that was the actual few hours where the actual bonding went to another level, that as I kept sharing Frankencoin stuff, all of a sudden in August, he approaches me and tells me I don't actually think that this necessarily happens unless we meet each other in Israel in March. You know what I mean? Because and that's why I think that, especially for me, I haven't estimated properly what in real life events can do. And I honestly recommend to whoever wants to get involved in the industry, or even is already involved and is not into being 100% anon no matter what, which even if you're online, you're probably not strict enough to really be anon anyway. But there's a whole other dimension of the industry that you may as well, you may very well find very useful, to be honest. There will be real life events, and I think you guys have an amazingly leading and important role within it. And I'm definitely looking forward to DeFiConnect, and I hope it will be just the first of many events in the future. And just to wrap it up, before I'll ask you about how you feel about Stable Retreat so far and the conference, I would say that I think that there's a whole lot of potential on my other hat with Leviathan News with you guys at Stable Summit, I really think that we not only like align very well on the value side and like the way we grew up in the space, we can actually also really benefit from each other's skills, I think, and really use them for our actually kind of a shared purpose of promoting the space, honestly.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. I mean, for most of 2024, 2025, Leviathan was our only media partner with Red. You know, and so we love Leviathan. Super long curve cap, but yeah, no, and I mean, I think we're perfectly aligned, and it's beyond just DeFi. It's also we're all deep in the curve ecosystem. We're all llamas, you know. Like I think this really matters, and yeah, I think something that we really need to improve. My content team is going to get mad at me, but like, is our written side and the breaking news. Like we're really bad with breaking news. Sometimes we post threads like 2 weeks after the thing happened, and in crypto this is forever, you know. And yeah, I think it would be a perfect like marriage for Leviathan.
I also think that like the whole side, and by the way, we don't do it well enough at the moment at all, but I think that working with someone like you guys will serve us very well in creating the proper motivation and obligation to do it. Like the whole side of content extraction. Like for example, what's like a success? How many people are you guys expecting at DeFiConnect? How many people? Because I'm pretty sure it's already going to be a pretty huge event, but like how many people are going to be there?
We just crossed 2,200.
That's insane. That's insane, really, because the first one was like what, 200?
350, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So already like 10x almost.
Yeah, and that's
8x, 10x.
It's the Buenos Aires effect, like yeah.
I agree, but like if over 2,000 people are willing to come to Buenos Aires to listen to it, there's a lot more people willing to press a play button and watch it at home. Honestly,
oh my God,
and even watch it again like after, because you know, people won't be able to listen and write every word that's going to be said in the conference. And for those who really care, they'd want to watch this content like 5 or 6 times to really get what was said there.
Absolutely, yeah. We should definitely work together on this.
There's a lot of stuff that should be done. And just to wrap it up, man, thank you so much for your time. First of all, really enjoyed it, and hanging around with you the past I don't know, 18 hours or so. How do you like Stable Retreat so far? What do you think about it? Any first impressions? How do you like Puerto Varas? How do you like the whole organization side of things by NEU Holdings and Frankencoin? How are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun as event organizer to attend someone else's event, and we get to be like, we get to be judgmental. But no, I mean, Johannes really smashed it out the park. Puerto Varas it's definitely one of the most, if not the most amazing place I've been in my life.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. I was here for like the first 2 hours, man, on like 2 mornings ago, and I was like, what? Oh, I just took photos for like 2 hours and said, whoa.
Literally.
And then I went for a few hours to the cafe, which was also one of the greatest cafes, like little chocolate, like you won't believe, man.
Literally, like I spent the first 45 minutes just looking out the window, like, where am I? You know, it's just crazy. And I mean, I think the group of people he's got together, it's just amazing. Really feel privileged to be here. And yeah, I mean, NEU Holdings.
NEU Holdings, I think it's expressed, but I'm Israeli. Don't ask me how they say their name.
but yeah, NEU Holdings, Rolf. They've been just amazing hosts, and I mean, I think it's my first time in Chile, and I've been really blown away by how like warm and friendly people are in Chile. So big shout out to Chile as well.
Definitely shout out Rolf, shout out NEU Holdings, and shout out Johannes for making it all happen. Thank you so much for your time, Zach, and thank you for all you do for the space. Where should people follow you, Parvina, and Stable Summit, and Nick to find you guys if they don't do it already?
The easiest way would be follow Stable_Summit on Twitter. But we also have Party Action People. That's Party Action PPL on Twitter. And then you'll find us eventually. And then don't forget to follow DeFiAdvisoor and Frankencoin.
God bless.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming, man. I really enjoyed it. And okay, let's go and continue with the conference. Thank you so much for your time, man. Bye. Bye, everyone.